Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Real Sports Scope. I'm your host, Robert Butler. On this 23rd day, we got the World Series tomorrow coming up and a big football weekend. Always a big football weekend, college and the NFL, especially the NFL. And got the Mad New Yorker back. The NBA started last night. Going to get Mad New Yorker's pick on the finals. So I'll give you my pick on the finals. Speaking of the NBA, huge story, almost unbelievable story out of the NBA. Indictments of Chauncey Billups, Terry Rozier. I want to say Damian Jones, assistant coach there. Active coaches and players. You can't make this stuff up. I think it's 4 mob families involved. It's so over the top. I'll talk about it here shortly with the Mad New Yorker. Let's take our first and only break. We'll be back here momentarily. We got a lot to cover and a little bit of time, so stand by. We got a great show with you for tonight. We'll be back here momentarily. Hit the ground running here on the Real Sports Scope. Hello, Sports Scope followers. The program has seen tremendous growth since going 5 days a week. I just wanted to thank everybody for your cash contributions and sharing the program with friends and families. Just a reminder, if you want to contribute to the program, go to the Cash App, the cash sign, and Sports Scope. There are other ways to contribute to the program listed at the bottom of the screen. If you want to advertise on the program, go to sports, that is sports with an S, another S, scope, SKOPE, at gmail.com, just like it's listed at the bottom of the screen. Thank you and enjoy the program. All righty, then we're back here live. Want to bring up the Mad New Yorker and have a Hey, Carlos, how you doing tonight, man?
What up, what up? Happy Thursday. Thanks for having me on, man. Let's get ready and rumble.
Let's get ready to rumble. Now, Michael Buffer, don't you be suing me for my $20. But anyways, I wanted to start with this blockbuster story. It was one of those things that was bubbling underneath the ground like a volcano. And for some of my mind, you know how you read a story online and it's so over the top that you think it's fake, and then as the day goes long, you start to read stuff off the internet, and then more and more major outlets start to cover it, and you're like, man, this is crazy story right here. And I just wanted to read a few things that I've got off ESPN.com, which ABC now covers the majority bulk. They got Inside the NBA on ABC. They cover a lot of the big games. Opening night was a few days ago. Wednesday was a big night in the NBA. Tuesday was opening night. Wembanyama had a great game. And then this story comes out. This is a 2-year-long investigation. Let me get the crowd updated real quick. Not going to take a lot of time up on this. But Portland Trailblazers coach Chauncey Billups, who I had a lot of hope for, Miami Heat guard Terry Rozier, and former Cleveland Cavaliers player and assistant Damian Jones have been arrested as part of a wide range of investigations ranging from illegal sports betting and rigged poker games backed by mafia families. 4 families, folks, are involved in this. 34 people arrested, covering 11 states. This is a 2-year-long investigation. Rozier is part of it, was basically point shaving, something similar that Javante Porter Jr. or Porter, that's Michael Porter's brother. Remember, he got banned from the league from this, point shaving. Billups was a separate incident with illegal poker games, like $1.7 million or something, some ridiculous poker tournaments. There's a guy online that said he was aware of this 2 years ago. But like I said, this is a 2-year-long investigation, not directly implicated with the point shaving part going back to Chauncey Billups, but indirectly as far as him switching out players that he coached at proper times to meet unders in particular basketball games and whatnot. Uh, so that somebody could testify against him. Uh, I know it sounds crazier by the second, but that's basically it in a nutshell. These guys could all three they're facing prison time. It's early in the indictment process. It's a very long, complex story. I couldn't read all the whole thing. I mean, I read as much as I can, but going over an indictment like this is very complex. But I mean, obviously, these guys could get banned for life from the NBA, and I think maybe they could possibly change the rules on these prop bets. Individual prop bets. So I thought, man, that would be that is like holding bait in front of a fish, man. That's my take on it. What is yours? And we'll reflect off this. This is wild, ain't it?
Yeah, I mean, no, it's not one, not two, not three. I mean, this is 30 people involved in different and these
Different states
indictments.
around the country, yeah.
Yeah, different types of you know, you got three different things going on, but the NBA is the main culprit with their with players, former players, referees, and then they add mafia bosses, and it's just like you said, it sounds like something from a movie.
Yeah, a
I mean,
Scorsese film.
uh, and I think the reality is this I feel like this happens every 10 years. Like there should be like you know
Okay.
there should be a lot more uh just I don't know. I feel like there should be more governance on the teams, on the players, and the rules should be a little bit stricter. Um and look, you're talking about a group in the NBA, like of athletes, owners, and people involved. It's really not that big if you look at the grand scheme of things. Um, Compared to NFL, right? NFL teams have more players. I feel like they have more coaches because they have more players. And you're talking about the league, the NBA, and its growth and exponential growth in the last 10 seasons has been ridiculous, right? So this is gonna be a little bump on the road, but I think the NBA as a whole, because it's small and compact compared to the other leagues, I think they'll get over this. It makes for even a more interesting season now. You have a couple coaches that won't be on the bench. You have players that won't be playing anymore in the NBA. You have referees that will not be called up again. So, and then
Referees. What did you hear about the referees?
well, there's former refs that are involved in the indictment
Oh, okay. See,
as
there
well.
you
So,
go. I mean, you're hearing more than I heard about it. And of course,
oh no, I
we
mean
had. Go
it's
ahead.
a lot of people involved. I think they just hit the major names of like of players that are
Yeah.
involved. Um, and again, this is just an indictment. Nobody's found guilty. Um,
Right. It's all
it,
indictment. It's all accused, innocent, proven guilty, all that
the
good stuff.
the only thing is this that bothers me right now. Well, our FBI is not at its strongest point to follow through and maybe go. I'm not sure to what extent these indictments and the court and these court cases are going to go through, but um I just don't like the grabbing at leaves things, like just grabbing at stuff and trying to make stuff stick. These kind of cases, it's hard to make stuff stick, hard to find a true, what's true. People say this, and these things can last years in court cases in the courts. So
Yeah.
um indictments are one thing, but you're not guilty, you're innocent to proven guilty. So
Yeah.
the only bad thing, again, it's like this takes away from these men being able to do their jobs as coaching and as a player or two that were on current rosters. So and again, like you said, it's a poker ring with Chauncey Billups and other high end players who were in the fix and allowed fans to come in and get got, right. So they were taken from they were using their name and image to get other people involved.
Yes.
And
Yes.
right. So
And
that's the
supposedly there were cameras involved.
right. They
Like,
had X-ray table, an X-ray poker table that could read the cards. They had cameras involved, and everybody in the poker game was in the fix except for the fish that they got. It was how they put it in the indictment. Then you have the other players involved in the point scams, like uh Tori Dozier, he would play a certain amount of minutes and get less than 10 points and then take himself out of the game and have people
fake
bet
an
on that.
injury. I thought that, when these props came up, and I thought somebody's going to try this. Now, mind you, he's making about 26 and some change million a year, and he's supposed to make like 200 grand.
Right.
How
So
do you get in the head of somebody who's wanting to risk? Because, they can void his contract
yeah,
because of it.
and how he got caught in the indictment states that he received over $200,000 at his home that was delivered by parts of the delivered by those who were involved.
Yeah.
So he didn't put his name on anything, but he did get a money bag, and that's in the indictment.
Okay.
And then Damian Jones would text people about when LeBron was going to be active or not active to for
Yes.
them to for them to place bets. So here you go, you got somebody in the inside, uh, you know, inside trading going on over here, and you place bets on whether LeBron's going to have a good day or not, and he was a guy to go to. He was a go-to guy because he's a teammate
They
and
were
one of
kind of insinuating too. He wasn't listed specifically in the indictment, but from what I read through a source, and it seemed like you read all this detail for detail, that LeBron kind of let this out that, hey, I'm not going to be there. Wink, wink.
right, right.
As if he had he leaked that out. Now that would be even bigger story if somehow LeBron got involved with this.
Oh,
Um, this would probably give Adam Silver a heart attack.
well, my
If he got implicated.
yeah, even just his name being mentioned is already going to be a headache for
It's
the
a PR
NBA,
nightmare. Yeah,
for LeBron James and for the rest of the league and the Lakers. Rest assured, if these things start going into court cases, he's going to be called upon as a witness, just to start with. So
yeah.
whether he's part of what's going on in the back end or whether you know he's going to be mentioned and he's going to be part of the court case, and it doesn't mean that he's at fault either. So it just this whole thing is, again, it's a lot going on, a lot of different stories going on over here, and I just hope, like, not to get people, convicted, but I just hope that the FBI does a better job of being organized than what
Yeah.
happened with the Charlie Kirk situation, and
Yeah.
just stop trying to grab at straws, and just, if you're going to indict
When you listen
somebody.
to Stephen A. Smith, he and I don't know why he gets away with some of the stuff he says. I mean, I'm glad you mentioned Charlie Kirk because I was gonna try to play that. I might be able to play it for everybody. If you can't hear this, let me know. Um, Listen to Stephen A. Smith. Now, what he's about to tell you, as I mentioned, and I said it twice to emphasize, this is a 2-year long investigation, which means the FBI went through the last director, through the former administration, through this administration. So this is not political. This is in the ESPN and ABC's reporting on this. But listen to what Stephen A. Smith, who is a clown, he's officially a clown now, talking out of his rear end, saying crazy stuff on ESPN Airways and not being held accountable for this. I got a feeling he may have to walk this back next week after they get on to him, do a Ryan Clark type of apology. But listen to Stephen A. Smith. If you can't hear him, let me know. I didn't get a chance to download it to the computer.
You know what world that I live in terms of politics? How many times, for one incident after another, have I said, Trump is coming? He's coming. We'll say it on national television again. Bad Bunny is performing at the Super Bowl, and all of a sudden you hearing ICE is going to be there, looking to engage in mass deportations. The Super Bowl, disrupting things. Big night for the NBA. When Rihanna put on a show. has now been smeared because we're talking about this story. Okay? Remember, Trump has a long, long history connected to the world of sports because he had those casinos. Where do you think folks were coming at half the time? I'm not talking about individuals. I'm talking about the culture. When people want to go to a casino, when people want to gamble, when people want to party, whatever the case may be, this was his kind of connection to that. Why am I glad you're here, Monica? Because don't be surprised if the WNBA is next on his list. Because when you got all
Now, again, I just said, and ABC said this is a 2-year long. He makes it look like that this was a 3-month-old indictment, that this was all thrown together, and the trigger got pulled today. Rather, it went through 2 FBI directors, 2 presidencies, and this guy that was talking about, that's another long cut, but he's on the internet. I might be able to find him. Basically saying in 2023 that Chauncey Billups is rigging poker games with professional players. So this is so. Let me ask you this question: what is your opinion of thinking put yourself in the mind of a successful guy? These are all allegations, but as a successful guy of the level of Chauncey Billups, you have his success, you have his money. Just a side note for this, we'll finish this question. When I was going through general manager training for Wendy's for 2 weeks, and I hated it, but I quit. But during training, they were telling me that a guy named Bridgemont, last name, I can't remember his name, but he used to play for the Pistons back in the 80s, owns most of the Wendy's in Nashville. And Chauncey Billups was, and I said, I know Chauncey Billups. Yeah, I'm a big basketball fan, blah, blah, blah. I'd like to meet him. She said, well, yeah, I met him the other day, blah, blah, blah. He's in town. He's going to invest into some franchises, So I was like, wow, that's pretty cool. This guy's a former player. He's making millions as a coach. What makes you this amount of money we're talking about doesn't even come close to that? Why would he risk getting banned, getting a Pete Rose like ban? Why would you risk that when you've already got it made? I'll give you my answer, but what is your opinion? How did you get in Chauncey Billups' head to even think about doing something like this?
Yeah, well, so this all happened when he just like retired basketball before he got the coaching opportunities.
Okay.
So these guys are, these basketball players, they have lives, they have vices, they're regular human beings, like, and we have to take that into consideration. And the to get money, to make money, and then not have money, or making as much money as you used to, even though you have something coming in, that can play in the mind of anybody, especially a former athlete who's making a couple million to a lot of millions in a season, and now they're down to making the retirement check, which is not in the millions, right? It's in the hundreds of thousands, because they're retiring, and they get it in droplets. But so and then the competitiveness comes out in you. You're not on the basketball court anymore. So what do? A lot of these guys, they have poker games at friends' houses. They have they go to these poker tournaments as celebrities, former celebrity athletes. So I don't. There's no wrong in those things. It becomes wrong when you get into a situation that Chauncey Billups is in right now, where he was caught up in a ring with people, and he was part of the scam, so to speak, and that's what his indictment's about. I'm not sure if it's true or not, but that's what he was indicted for. So, and that's not. I wouldn't say that's neither here nor there, because it's hard to keep. It's hard to keep image clean, right? It's hard to keep your profile clean. And when you talk about money and doing events like poker tournaments, or even doing them privately, different things can happen. And again, this is not just Chauncey Billups. This is him being involved with crime bosses of 4 different families. Like, so, and who knows how that conversation started, right? And there's a lot of situations that former athletes and current athletes get into, so that they can keep making money, so that it can be, in the now, so they can be in the limelight. So it's not always I can't say it's not always their fault, but they do have to be accountable for the actions they do take and the consequences that will come. Well, if that so happens to go the negative route and the illegal route. So it doesn't always turn out like that, right? Because you got Tom Brady, a former athlete, and he's doing things, he's trying to do everything by the book. But if we were to find out that I mean, he right now there was an issue about his manager who was and the protein shakes and all that, and he kind of got
The
rid of that.
trainer guy. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
right. So he kind
Uh-huh.
of moved away from that. So those kind of things they gonna happen, man. And unfortunately,
Oh, is he not doing the TB12 stuff no more?
I'm not
Or
sure.
is he back burnered that or something?
I think he still owns the brand name, but he's not pushing it because of the stuff that happened with the trainer. Like so,
Okay.
but what I'm just saying is that like things are going to happen because they're a celebrity and they're a known name, and they have an image and their likeness that they can make money off of, because that's all that's left. They can no longer be on a field, on a court, on a ring, or do wherever it is that they do as athletes, performance wise. So my take is this: is like it's going to happen. It's unavoidable to some extent, of being of some of these things happening, right? Because of the fact that you're dealing with trying to make money or trying to double up your money in different types of businesses and opportunities. And it's sad that this is what it is, and this indictment comes through, especially with the person who had a clean image like Chauncey Billups.
Yeah. And it
So
looked like they were building something up there with that group up there in Portland. Had a
yeah,
lot of young talent there. You know
yeah,
something? You made a good point though. That idol's mind is a devil's workshop. When you're I think maybe there's no reports that he had money problems. Maybe he was just bored and he's looking to get a new score, get new
right.
money coming in, and thought, man, this seems pretty easy. Yeah, it's unethical, but nobody's going to know about it. We can keep it low key. And this kind of money is very fast, very easy. This can be my play money. I can go out and chase women with this money. I can do some personal gambling with this money. I can splurge this
Like
money.
there's former basketball players, Paul Pierce, um,
Who's got in trouble, by the way, recently, charged with a DUI.
this guy, what's his name from the Washington Wizards, who brought the guns and has a
Gilbert
podcast.
Arenas.
Arenas. They all have had private games in their homes. They they've had celebrities come
Which
over and they,
I wouldn't dare show up to those games.
yeah, but no, but like so there's it's I wouldn't say it's part of the culture, but people know that these things, if they're not doing it in the private, they'll go to the casinos and do it. Michael Jordan
Yeah.
was known to go to the casino before a few nights
Yes,
before the game.
yes.
So it's something that, because they have a
He
little bit of
bet on
money.
golf and stuff and golf.
Yeah,
I mean, that's widely publicized
yeah.
before.
So it's not, it's a vice, but it can go all the way to the wrong. There's a former basketball player who made more money on selling spinners and Latrell Sprewell than he did on the NBA. Um,
Okay.
for those 4 or 5 years, the spinners were really
Oh, he
like
did.
popular.
Sprewell
Yeah.
did.
So
Oh,
yeah, Latrell.
nice.
So you know
He got in a lot of trouble for choking that coach one time.
that was before that was as a player, but then right before he retired, he invested it in a couple companies that were making spinners for the cars
Okay.
back in the mid to late 90s. And he made, at one point he was making, in one year he was making, doubling up on what he made as an NBA player. So
Nice.
sometimes
That's a good
opportunities,
story. Good.
so yeah, sometimes opportunities come, and there's good stories, but everybody, again, these are, at the end of the day, these are human beings. Mistakes can be made, and we gotta support them in making sure that they, at the end of the day, they got to be accountable for what they did,
Oh
and
yeah.
live with the
Yeah.
consequences. But then also we have to be, as fans, in a way, supporting the fact that their vices brought it down, but we have to try to prop them up, because like at the end they maybe, well, Chauncey Billups was a coach. Is he ever going to get a second chance if
If
all
they
this?
can prove that he's taking players out and doing like a Pete Rose type of situation, he's probably banned for life. Like,
Right. I mean,
that's unfortunate. It's very unfortunate.
Yeah, so we gotta, this implies this is a land of opportunity and second chances. So I
Yeah.
hope
Maybe a
after
college
all,
will give him a job years from now. He may go to prison for some time. You never know.
right,
It's a
right, this
2-year deal. So,
this could be like a what's this guy's name from the Falcons, Michael Vick, when he had his situation,
yeah, he
and
went to
so
prison, came back, and had a great comeback. So,
so
a little bit different because this was gambling. And
no,
you know
well,
how these leagues are about gambling. They're real strict.
right, no, but the pit bull thing, it wasn't just an
It
animal
was
thing. It
really
was
bad.
also
It was a
it
bad
was it,
PR thing for it.
yeah, it was also a money ring thing because it was
Yes.
gambling.
Yes. Oh, because they were betting on the pit bulls.
Yeah,
A horrible situation.
yeah.
Yeah. And fortunate for him and the Eagles, he was a great comeback story. Billups is older. He should know better than this, but hey, we're all human, like you said. And guys, we talked about this before. I'm sure that these players, a lot of them get lost after they retire and they can't quite scratch that itch. This week, Doug Martin died. They said he
Oh
had
my
some
God,
mental health issues. He's only 36 years old.
36 years old, bro.
Yeah. So they're lost after their careers are. I mean, they don't. And obviously, any coach, any parent would tell you, you got to have after your career plan way before you even start your career because the thing could be over with at 20 years old, 25.
Right.
You could be over with in high school, you get the right injury. So unfortunately, but that's
Right.
life in this that type of field. Staying in the NBA, the season really crept up on me. I didn't know it was going to start this soon, but it has. Wembanyama, like Stephen A. Smith said, which I think he should be either made to apologize or be fired on that remark. But Wembanyama, I think this could be a big breakout year for him. I don't know how far they can go. I don't know if they have the depth. I don't know if he can stay healthy. He's so long. I could see him easily getting injured. But what do you think about that? And who do you see in the NBA Finals this year? I've got my pick. What you go ahead and
Yeah,
make your
so
prediction.
I have Wimby as a top 3 player for the MVP.
Okay. Oh, so
As
you were very
MVP candidate.
impressed yesterday with him too.
I've been impressed with him since he's been in the league. The
Yeah.
problem is that the team that he's on and who he's surrounded by, the things that he could do as a player from 7'5" is incredible. And I feel like now that he's bulked up a little bit and he been able,
Yes.
he plays above the rim because he can, and so and he uses that to his advantage. So that all those things, is only going to make him better. And I see him, getting his 10 rebounds, his 10 assists, and his 25 plus points a game.
Yeah.
I
Maybe
think he'll,
4. I mean, unbelievable. Yeah.
yeah, he's gonna. He might, and I'm not saying that he's going to, but he is a player who can do 20, 20, 30
Yeah.
easy. So, but I don't. I'm not. I ain't crowning the kid. I'm just saying he got.
Could you see
He,
him possibly? It sounds like you're saying he could dominate this league, perhaps in air quotes. And I think that you may be onto something like a Wilt Chamberlain in his era, where he scored 100 points in a game. 40, 50 rebounds. Could he get maybe not that dominant, but unbelievable numbers that we never seen before? Cartoon stuff.
he's gonna have a few games of that in his career. He's if they keep shooting the ball like they shoot the ball in the NBA, he's definitely gonna get rebounds, man. Like,
Yeah.
Because not all of those balls go. What is it? 1 out of 10 buckets out of the 3-point average go
Yeah.
in, something like that, something crazy like that. So he's definitely gonna get rebounds. He makes points, getting points easy because he can play above the rim. And again, he's still kind of young. He's not like a Jokic, where Jokic is like he's probably a 30-year-old player already,
Yeah.
even though his
This
age
guy's
is younger
like
than that.
22, 20. I mean, he's very, very young. Yeah.
Yeah, so he'll get in, but again, he'll age like Jokic because he played as a younger kid in a professional league. So you kind of gotta be wary of that. But I feel like he's gonna be a stronger player than Embiid. with that height, and then I hope that he plays more games than Embiid has ever played. So
He seems to be in
you know,
better physical shape. Embiid wasn't always in the best of shape.
I think Embiid's biggest issue is that once he got the injuries in college, they just weren't. He
Yeah.
he almost never played out of the injuries. So um, yeah,
Yeah. At least it was a shoulder with Wemby coming back from instead of a knee
yeah,
injury.
knee,
So
yeah,
um, I my opinion is this year I like what Denver's done in the offseason. Speaking of Michael Porter, we mentioned him earlier. They got rid of Michael Porter in the offseason and made a trade with Denver Brooklyn, and got Cameron Johnson, brought back Bruce Brown. Remember him? He played on that championship team. I think Denver. Remember they pushed Oklahoma City to 7
yeah.
games. I think they're going to represent the West, although
Mhm.
Dallas is good, San Antonio's good, OKC's the defending champions. They'll probably still be the favorite. I think Denver, and I think your Knicks. Now, mind you, Halliburton's out, torn Achilles. Tatum for Boston's out. So I think your Knicks can represent the East, and of course, I like Denver in 6 games to win it. But who knows, man? The NBA is very hard to get a read on this year. I got a decent idea, but there's just no lock like it used to be. It's
Right.
very much so much parity, man.
Yeah,
Especially in the West.
yeah. The West is too many. I feel like there's going to be too many teams to compete with. But
Yeah.
I do see Denver coming out on top. I
You like
mean,
Denver too?
yeah, I think uh, Dallas, Houston, and Oklahoma City and
Yeah,
Denver.
Houston. Yeah.
Those are the 4 teams that are going to be in the thick of things. And I feel like either it'll be OKC versus Denver, and I think this time Denver ends up winning. And then
Yeah.
and then on the East, I have the Knicks, but I have them with Boston and Indiana and Orlando. So
Orlando could make it. Yeah.
but I feel like the Knicks aren't deep enough. They're always injury riddled, and until they get 2 more players that are younger instead of because they gotten older, I feel like that team they need to stay healthy. All these teams, all these predictions that we're making are dependent on the health of these guys. And to be honest with you, Robert, like in the last 5 years, to try to see an NBA team see their season all the way through with some of these players has been tough, right?
Because
There are
of
a
the
lot of
pace of
injuries.
the league is so high now, they're just using more energy in a lot
I,
of these
I
games.
I just as much as it's changed since we were younger, it's just like that. I want to see more towards the end than like you even started out the season with like all these all stars, like some of them not even starting because of they're coming back from injury or
Yeah. Who do you
they
got
got.
out the East? You don't like the Knicks in the East?
I don't. I like the Knicks. I just don't think they're deep enough, and I feel like a team like Cleveland or even Boston will come out and
Well,
they'll be
Boston
those.
with Tatum's got
Yeah.
Achilles, probably won't play.
No, but they got
You gonna say Cleveland? You gonna say Cleveland?
yeah. I think Cleveland. I think
Who
it'll be
wins it?
between. I think Cleveland wins this year. We might
They
see
win the
Cleveland.
East or win the championship?
No, I think Cleveland and Denver in the championship games. I don't. I
Who
don't know
wins?
who wins.
Who wins the whole thing?
Maybe Denver. I like. I like that. I like that team.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Cool beans, man. Let's see. I gotta make sure I got you everything set up. We gotta fly through this stuff rapid fire. That basketball story blew my mind, man. I mean, you probably saw this movie. It was a true story. They did a documentary on it also, the 1991 Arizona State scandal where they
Hmm.
were fixing games. Did you remember that?
Yeah.
It made me think about that as well, going back to that story, man.
Also, like that Boston College ring that they had going on, shaving
Okay.
points.
Was that with the guy from Goodfellas? Was he involved in that scandal as well? The
Yeah,
mob
yeah,
guy?
yeah, yeah.
Okay, cool. Yeah. Man, we both got our butts kicked. A quick story here. I'd met some guys I was doing Uber the other day, and I got these cards with the program on the back of my seat, with the barcode. They look really nice. It's got a QR code to the show, and I got a couple of new guys subscribed to the YouTube channel from Dublin,
Nice.
and they were NFL fans, and they were waiting for their long flight, and I noticed that one of them commented, and they said, "Man, you guys had a horrible week."
Yeah, we did. We did.
I
But,
said, "Yeah, man." I said, "Man," I said, "Yeah." I said, "Check the other games. That it was just a rough week for me and the Bad New York. We both went 1-4. I'm still up 4, but they did subscribe afterwards. So I noticed too. So that they did forgive me. I thought, I sold these 3 guys. 2 of them didn't subscribe. I guess one of them said, "Nah, this dudes don't know what the heck they're talking about." But I thought that was pretty funny because it was like the worst week we've had.
Yeah.
I don't know what happened. The Rams, I had no idea that Jacksonville, they're just a hard team to get a read on, man. They're so Jekyll and Hyde. The Rams flew to London, man, on Saturday, and then Sunday beat the crap out of Jacksonville. We both picked Jacksonville because they go to London every year, and they played like a bunch of rookies. What happened there? What's your thoughts on that game?
I think that with the Puka thing, they wanted to step up and show everybody that they're actually a deeper
the
team.
Rams, yeah.
And that and Stafford, man, Stafford's playing like he's having a very low key MVP type of season.
Yes.
And nobody's mentioned that yet. I think a couple more games and then he's going to be in the running because right now, Baker's has had a tough go at it last week. So I feel like he might come sneak out and be on the ballot there.
Yeah. And I love those 2 defensive ends for the Rams.
Well, man, that defense is at the end of the day, the defense keeps him in the game and makes it a game of it. And between Stafford and having him on the offense and the defense being young and pumping on all cylinders, that team is a scary team to play. I wouldn't want to play them on my
They're
on my
legit
schedule.
Super Bowl contender,
They're a legit playoff team, and I think. Don't get me wrong, and I know they're doing well, but I think that the Rams are a better team, balance-wise, than the Colts. And I would rather want to play the Colts than the Rams right now.
Well, they beat the Colts earlier this year, but Brian Young, former Vol, I was doing my Power 5 this week. He's got 9 sacks, and Jared Verse has got 3. Verse, they're already double teaming Verse because that's the other defensive end. They're in the backfield. They're like Kevin Carter and Javon Curse, former Titans.
I don't like the Rams, and then when they get on the field, you're just like, wow, you just can't stop watching them and rooting for them because you're like that team. You like the barbershop and Coming to America. Them boys are good. Them good. Them boys are real good.
Them boys are fast.
Yeah,
they,
and you're just like,
yeah. It looks like they jump to snap every play, man. I mean, they're just quick as a cat. Jared Verse, what a great draft pick. And then, they're going to have Puka back. And Devontae Adams is still playing like a guy that's got plenty left in the tank. Carwin Williams, they're a very good team. Flip side, Jacksonville's still very undisciplined. They're up and down, very disappointed. They still have issues on the back end of their defense.
Yeah.
They have a quarterback that drifts off for some reason, Trevor Lawrence. They're just untrustworthy. Philadelphia, Minnesota. I thought Minnesota could have beat them, even during that game. But you have a Carson Wentz. It's going to be Carson Wentz who's going to hang on to the ball too long, who's going to throw interceptions. And then you have those that always it's a glaring ongoing problem with the Vikings, and this is why Flores has to do what he does. They have problems with their secondary, man. And you saw a huge game out of Devontae Smith, and I did great on one of my fantasy games because of that. But him and A.J. Brown had a field day. I don't know if the Eagles are back, but what are your thoughts about that game, man? We had that wrong, too.
Jalen Hurts. Didn't care about his QB rating, went out there, threw the ball out of bounds, ran the ball out of bounds, protected the ball as much as possible, gave his team opportunities to stay in the game.
Yep.
And and when they needed a big catch, they got it for Smith and Brown, and so
Sure did.
and again they got a tight end that's been
He's
keeping them
consistent too. He don't
very
get enough love,
consistent.
does he? Go Dirk.
I'm very shocked that the Saquon thing hasn't, like they're not doing what they did last year, but I think they're not doing that because they know their O line's different because they don't have Mekhi Becton.
Yeah.
So they don't have that big gaping hole that Barkley can just run through and worry about getting to the second line. So that I think that I still this was a good game for them to stay off the snide, but I still don't think they have I still don't think they have an identity to which
No, they
and what they
don't.
want to do as far as who the Eagles are, because they're not the punch in your face Eagles yet that
No.
we like to see when they play football.
Yeah, I
And
don't think they can live off Jalen throwing that much.
no, definitely not. And but
They
if
just
there
got
was
the best of Minnesota.
if there was a team that they could do that, this was a team. And I like the fact, because this goes into the coaching, that they made the adjustments and it was possible for them to stay in this game and win it.
Yeah.
Because they don't transition very well and make those adjustments during the game anyways. But again, you have to run the ball 20-25 times minimum. You have Saquon. You have to the run the what Jalen Hurts did was play off the air game, but it's a dangerous situation. It'll get you 3 and out quicker than the run game. So
Yes.
especially for that team, so they need to
wear
kind
your
of
defense out too. Yeah.
they need to go ahead and get that going and balance out that team. But kudos to the Eagles.
Yeah.
Did better than we expected them
Do
to,
they
and
beat
ended up
your
being the
Giants
Vikings.
this week?
I wasn't ever gonna pick them to win. Bo Nix, bro. Bo Nix carried the Broncos team.
Yeah.
When he needed to, he played terrible in the first 2 quarters, man. It was
But your Giants, they had them down for 19 points, and they do. I said this the other day. I think that Dart really reminds me the spark that he brought to that boring offense. It kind of reminds me of Big Ben Roethlisberger when he went to Pittsburgh back in 2004. Really brought a spark there. May not have that kind of success where he goes to 3 Super Bowls, wins 2, but I do like the spark that he's brought. I do think it's legit so far.
Well, I will tell you this, and I don't want to sound like playing favorites or anything. I would put Mac Jones. What's this kid in the Patriots team?
Drake May, who's
Drake
having a
May,
great year.
Drake May and Dart. I would put them in that one bubble of okay starting quarterbacks, and then I would put Bo Nix above that, right?
You really like Bo Nix. You're like Colin Cowherd, man.
No. Listen, again, I'm not. It's not that he's my favorite quarterback. It's that he makes mistakes. All these quarterbacks made mistakes that I mentioned. All of them made mistakes. But it doesn't dawn on him the mistakes he made. This guy, Dart, threw the biggest interception that changed the whole momentum of the game.
That's true. Yeah.
Right. So, and he said it.
This is Dart's first year. Bo Nix had some plays like that last year.
Yeah, no. But again, they still went to the playoffs. Like he had it in his mind.
Yeah.
So and even in the playoffs, he almost got the team to score. That they missed a field goal. But what that's a Bo Nix story. That's for something else.
Yeah.
But Dart, I get it. He's a rookie and everything. But this can't be. This can't affect him like these things affected Daniel Jones when he was with the Giants, or like those plays affected Darno when he was with the Jets.
Don't you think that he fits better with this group than Jones did with that group? He seems to play more confident than Jones.
Yeah, I dislike. I still dislike the pick for Dart in that round that he was picked. First and foremost, right? And I don't feel like he's a quarterback of the future. I just don't. I think he's a quarterback. He's a starting quarterback. But right now, a lot of mediocre guys are starting quarterbacks in the NFL right now.
So do you think that you still believe that they're going to fire Brian DeBall?
And they should fire Brian. They should fire Sean and Brian DeBall 3 seasons ago. I never wanted them in New York to begin with.
Even if they finish 7-10 or whatever and play well.
They're gonna finish 6 and whatever, but like,
Okay.
yeah, I don't.
Yeah, they got a rough schedule ahead of them.
I don't. It's not. Look, I'm not. I'm sure the ball's a decent coach and a quarterback coach. They said all this stuff with Jared Allen, with not Jared Allen, with Allen up in Buffalo, but what he did with Allen.
Josh
But
Allen. Yeah.
even with Josh Allen, they didn't go to a Super Bowl and win. So that never was legitimized by saying, okay, so he can come and he can take this New York offense with a Daniel Jones and take it to the next level, right? So, and that's where they were going with that, and I don't like that. And now, even though the Daniel Jones is successful at Indianapolis for what they're doing there, listen, if Daniel Jones was successful in New York with the running back called Saquon, it's when those pieces start. It's when the game gets a little longer and those pieces start getting tired, and he has to make those decisions to carry a team. That's when the effects come.
What do you think about that Colts team? I said this Colts team is very good. They are just a solid offensive line. Pro Football Focus, #1 in the league. Jonathan Taylor, the running back there, he looks like Emmitt Smith in '92. Huge holes you could drive a truck through. That game wasn't really close against the Chargers. Defensive line played great. Jones looks like he's having 3 and 4 seconds back there. This is a big difference of team here. Then that Giants team, he felt like they were kind of just really living on the edge, playing kind of lucky there, getting some lucky. This team just looks good. They're just beating you off the ball. I think they're a legit playoff contender, maybe deep playoff contender. What's your thoughts about that team in that game against the Chargers, who still looked a little banged up, They're 2 play tonight, but they got Joe Alt tonight, but who knows?
Yeah, I mean the Chargers need to get back on the horse, man. On the
They're up 7-0 over Minnesota, by the way. Speaking of the Devils.
Yeah, but
Chargers.
They need to get going. And them and the Ravens, they need to figure it out. Because those are the two best teams on paper that haven't been good at anything this year. But the Colts, listen, kudos to them, kudos to their fan base. They ain't in the Super Bowl. They're not going to go to the Super Bowl. They'll be in the mix for the next year. But
you think they're going to win this division?
The division. The division
it ain't saying much the way Jacksonville's flaky is all get out.
Yeah, so they'll be able to get in on it. But look, I'd like to see this team, the Colts, play the Patriots, and then the Patriots get knocked out by somebody else. Because I feel like that's what's going to happen. The Colts they'll play the Patriots, then they get knocked out, and then the Patriots get knocked out, and then that's it. That's all we hear from both of these teams. And I'm ready for that because look, the Patriots are a good team. They're young, they're green, fine. The Colts, they're also a young team. They're fine, but I just don't think either of those teams have any depth. They beat the Cardinals. They had an issue in the game where it didn't even seem like they were be able to get over the hump, and luckily the defense came through. And and the Cardinals made a few mistakes. Yeah, and the Cardinals made a few mistakes, and so they were able to get in the game again. But listen, you want to put your money on the Colts?
No.
Yeah,
but they're playing well though. They're in the Power 5. Atlanta. This is one I had right on you. San Francisco upset Atlanta 200 yards by Christian McCaffrey. Falcons again look like a different team on the road. We got to speed up here. What do you think about that real quick?
Yeah, real quick. They should have just kept running the ball, but they was trying to push the ball down the field. Terrible idea. They should have made that defense that's young, solid teams. He's doing a great job with that defense that pieced together like a puzzle, like a 100-piece puzzle. You look, kudos to San Francisco. They're doing well. They're being coached well on both sides of the ball, and they're a team of like patchwork that's working out for them right now. And that guy deserves Coach of the Year if anything, because no other team can go through many injuries and be where they're at.
Shanahan,
yeah.
So,
and I'm not a fan of him.
I know you don't like him, but hey, you got to give credit where it's due.
Yeah.
Same thing with Detroit. Their whole secondary was out, man. and they still won. You got that one right. That's why I'm still up 4, not 5. Uh, Baker looked like he was rushing a little bit Monday night. A little
Well,
disappointed in Baker, but really proud of the way Detroit rallied around and played zone defense, and just took advantage of the moment.
yeah, I think the referees played the better game of the two.
Yeah, because it's in Detroit. Okay.
Yeah, I didn't like the game, how it played out. There's too many whistles about stuff that was just kind of weird to begin with. And, you're sitting there watching the game you just think like, you wanted a better, we could have seen a better game, but the refs were their hands are too much involved in this one. And I feel like
You said
once
that
they,
could be the case. I remember you saying that. LSU, wow. Vanderbilt wins. Played great. Great pass rush for Vanderbilt. Picked up some LSU fans on Friday night. They were telling me they don't like Brian Kelly. No matter what happened Saturday, they want him gone. What's your thoughts about Vanderbilt beating up on LSU, giving them their second loss of the year? Is Brian Kelly in trouble?
I listen, this Vanderbilt team, I was underrated. It's underrated. I underrated them. People were talking about
Underestimated? Me too, yeah.
people are talking about like, how good they are, and I'm like, I just feel like Vanderbilt and Indiana should just play for the championship, and everybody should just be quiet. Like, or like,
I
but
like Vanderbilt. Indiana looks like it's the truth,
yeah, I just want
Vanderbilt's
to.
still got some depth issues. It feels like Indiana's strong everywhere.
Yeah, we're not gonna see that as a championship game. But right now, I'd rather see that than any of these teams who are like up and down, like a heart rate going on right now. And
Yeah,
it's just bad. It's a bad look for the SEC to have LSU down in the dumps. The good thing Alabama's winning on a winning
yeah.
wave, and then
That's
Georgia's
impressive
doing their
win by
thing.
Alabama. What do you think about Ole Miss? They scored on their first 5 possessions,
Five.
touchdowns.
Yes.
And Georgia, like I predicted and we talked about, they can take a punch and deliver it. They're like Ali, the rope dope, and then when you think you got them, they hit you with the right hand, and then you're out, man.
And and as much as they were
Great
scoring,
game, though.
touchdowns, that defense kept them in the game.
Yeah.
If they were giving up points, but the front line was still putting a punch on the running game, and so that was kind of an awkward game to watch. And I wouldn't say I was enjoying it that much, but it's just a tale of two cities. And then, like you said, Ole Miss is winning, but Georgia's playing good defense. It was just
Yeah.
kind of those.
Especially in the fourth quarter, man. They didn't allow them to do anything in the
They
fourth quarter.
buckled down, and it was great. It was good to watch. Again, it was back and forth, and you were just like, wow, is Georgia going to win this game? And they came back and they won the game. You're like,
Man.
you should have got up to get those Doritos and go to a bathroom break because you missed it.
Man. And now this week, folks, we'll start our 5 games, 5 biggest games of the week. The Bears you mentioned early, I still say the Ravens still have a chance in this division. Lamar Jackson limited all week. Roquan Smith back. John Harbaugh took away the pinball, I think it was a pinball machine or something. Not the pinball machine. What is that? Ping
Ping
pong.
pong, yeah.
Ping pong table out of the locker room. Took that out of the locker room. The defense is fully healthy. Even if Lamar does not come back, which I think he will. If he's limited now, I think he'll play Sunday against the Bears. They're 6.5-point favorites. They desperately need this game. Although Bears are playing really good, the Bears could win this game. But I don't think so. I think the Ravens win this game 27-20. The Bears scored late, but it's not really that close. I like the Ravens to get back in the winning formula. What's your thoughts about that game?
Yeah, I see the Ravens coming in with a big defense. They'll thump
Yes.
these guys around, and I see this game as 21-14, and I see the Bears winning. I see the Bears losing this to the Ravens. And the Ravens have to win this game because the schedule for them favors them to do better in all the rest of those games, and they need to, because if not, they're definitely going to see themselves closer to the Cancun than to the Super Bowl if they don't win this
That's
game.
right. That's right. San Francisco plays Houston this week. Frisco coming off a win. Houston, tough loss there. They played Seattle, and then they got to go home and play San Francisco. But they're still favored a point and a half. I think Frisco keeps it going. Mac Jones practicing. Brock Purdy plays. I'm going to pick Houston, but that's not going to happen. I think Mac Jones is going to play. And I think San Francisco will beat Houston down there. I'll probably be wrong on this one. I like a low-scoring game, though, because it is an early start time. That favors Houston. Maybe that's what the odds makers are looking at. Either way, 20-17, late field goal for 49ers, get the road win. Texans really hadn't beat nobody this year, to be honest with you. They beat up on crappy Tennessee and the Ravens when they had like 7, 8 players out. What's your thoughts on that game?
Well, I think the people in Vegas are looking at the fact that the 49ers don't really have any starters on their defense. Everybody's either second or third string, and they're pieced that together, and they're playing very well in the second, third string. But you can only play so well with your second and third string defense, to be honest with you. And I feel like Stroud has struggled, and this is an opportunity for him to find gaping holes in the defense, opportunity for the running game to get going on this defense. And I think this is going to be a very close game as well. I think this is going to be 27-24. And I think Houston's going to win by a field goal. Like on the opposite,
Okay.
I don't think the 49ers.
It'll be a good game. You're saying it'll be airtight.
Yeah, it's going to be very tight.
Yeah. I probably shouldn't have sent you this one, but these are two popular teams, name brand teams. This is a primetime game. Washington, Kansas City. Marcus Mariota will get the start for Washington. Jalen Daniels out. We talked about this in the draft. I like Jalen Daniels. But, man, he gets hurt when people don't even touch him. He gets these hamstring injuries. He comes up lame. This happened in the Alabama game 2 years ago. He didn't get hurt much last year. They went all in it, but he's been hurt a few times this year. That's my concern about this guy. But this offense will have Deebo Samuel and Terry McLaurin back. And Kansas City has a tendency to kind of mail it in sometimes. I don't know if it's going to be 11.5 to 14-point spread. I got it 34-21. Chiefs keep it rolling and get that much closer to get back in the playoff mix. I do like what the Chiefs have been doing here the last few weeks. I do like them to win by 13. I don't know if they'll blow them out, though. What's your thoughts about that game, man?
So no Marcus Magic this weekend?
Hey, you know something? Crazier things have happened with that offense. They could beat. That would be a really interesting game. But I think KC will win.
Yeah, I think Kansas City's defense is going to keep this struggling offense at bay. Marcus Mariota is going to be in over his head this week. Kansas City's going to score points no matter any which way they can. I mean, this is like the second time in his career that Mahomes has thrown to more than 10 different receivers.
Yeah. He's on fire right now.
This is so crazy. And then he allows his play allows for his team to stay in games, gives his defense a rest. So right now I liked Washington at the beginning of the season on paper. I felt like they were going to be the second team out I felt like it was going to be the Eagles or Washington out of that division, but now it just feels like one of those snowball effects. I think it's just getting bigger and bigger and overwhelming, and it's unfortunate because that team on paper was so good, and now all these things affecting them. They get players back this week, but I don't know if that's enough, to be honest with you, with this defense the way it's playing.
So you like Kansas City?
I like the Chiefs winning 31-20.
Yeah, that sounds about right. Listen, Denver had their hands full. Should have lost that game. To the Giants. They played Dallas this week. Dallas got a red-hot offense, man. One of the top offenses in the league. Some weeks they're the number one overall offense in the NFL. They're 3.5-point underdogs, but it's at Denver, and you cannot trust them on the road, in my opinion. They got beat like 30-14 or 17, I want to say, against the Bears at the Bears. I think they make this interesting, though. This will be a fun game, but I still like Denver at home, 31-24. What's your thoughts about Dallas? Denver will be a fun game.
That's going to be the game of the week right there. I'm telling you, Denver's defense is underrated by people's perception, but on paper, they're in the top 5 defense. for stopping the rushing as well as covering on the back, even though the Giants put points on them. So they were able to come back on them and win because the defense kept them in the game. It started with the interception, of course. But listen, this Denver team is my high right now, and so is Dallas. But because they're not playing in Dallas, this team's Denver's going to win 32-27. There's going to be a very close game. Watch Dallas kicker miss a field goal. Put that
And
down.
he's a very good kicker.
And he's a very good kicker. So
or he could break the NFL record and kick a 67-yarder.
but I feel like
that rarefied air, you know?
Yeah, he's going. I feel like they're gonna try to maybe push his limit, maybe a 60-yarder, 62-yarder, and he's gonna miss, and it's probably gonna be the game for them.
Yeah. Well, Green Bay, this is probably the game of the week here. Packers at the Steelers. Rodgers playing his old team. He's going to be amped up. They're coming off of a long layoff from 12, or they played on Thursday. Gave up a ton of points there. Tomlin will have them up in this game. They're underdogs. He will have them ready to play. Plus, Green Bay, you don't know how soft they're going to be in this particular game. That being said, Green Bay is the more talented team. They're going to have Pittsburgh. Can you really trust this Pittsburgh defense who gave up a ton to Seattle, who gave up a ton to – I mean, Joe Flacco looked like he was in his prime. I think they'll play it good early. Green Bay pulls away late unless they knock out Jordan Love because they have a tendency, the Steelers, to get away with Bush League plays at home like they did against Cleveland a few years ago. But overall, 30-24. I hope I'm wrong. I kind of like to see Rodgers win this game and Tomlin I kind of like to see that. But just looking at the talent and the lack of speed on defense, 30-24, Green Bay wins. This will be a fun game, though.
Yeah, this will be a fun game. This is one of those throwback games. I think the ball has to be in Josh Jacobs' hands if Green Bay is going to win this. And I feel like they will. I feel like they will win this because of Josh Jacobs.
Yes.
The Pittsburgh Steelers team is a little bit older and slower. They have difficulties with top 5 running backs. Jacobs is a top 5 running back. I still believe he is, and I think that he's gonna make a run at it. And Pittsburgh is gonna be. They're going to be 1 touchdown short, so it's going to be 27-24. I like this score. You know that I like that score all the time for most of my picks.
Picking Green Bay or Pitts?
I'm picking Green Bay to beat the Steelers.
27-24.
Yeah. Now, if Josh Jacobs if he don't get the ball 20 times, that's definitely Pittsburgh's game to win. But
yes,
it's
got to be about Josh Jacobs.
It has to be yes. Because that defense is set up.
It's susceptible against the run, for one thing.
Yeah, and it's set up to stop the air game. Like everything about the Pittsburgh Steelers is about trying to stop the new attack air assault. And
it's not the old Steelers we grew up watching.
Right. They're not just smash in the mouth, stop the running back, and give your quarterback a safety. They're the opposite. So
one college game here, Oklahoma. John Matter's back. He's going to be playing against Ole Miss. Ole Miss, like we mentioned earlier, that 5 straight touchdowns. Man, Lane Kiffin really has that offense going there. Are they going to be down, though? Will they be down? Can they go to Oklahoma and rebound against John Mater, who's second game back? It's the third game back. He played well against South Carolina last week, although South Carolina's down. This is, I think, the college game of the week. I like Oklahoma to win. I don't think Ole Miss can get up again and do. They might, but go on the road to Norman. I don't know, man. I like Oklahoma 26-17. I wouldn't be surprised if it didn't go the other way because I do like the way. If this was a neutral site game and they both had an equal amount of rest, I'd take Ole Miss. But it's not, and it's a situational game. I'm taking Oklahoma to win this game. What's your thoughts on that game?
When you knock down your opponent 3 to 5 times and they still get up and turn around and beat you up, that don't feel good on your soul. It don't feel good on your mind, and it definitely don't. It definitely don't.
It could be a letdown game.
Yeah, it definitely don't feel good at all. And to go further west to a colder place, that's 1 week more on your schedule. to a colder place. It's not like you're going to Florida. You're going to Norman. That game is going to be miserable for those players of Ole Miss, who most of them are from Florida and Georgia, and they
In
don't like that
Mississippi.
weather there. So Oklahoma, they have the advantage. They're at home. They're playing. They can kick these kids in the mouth and step on the throats and win this game. They have the advantage. And if they don't do it, that's on the coaching staff and the team of Oklahoma. Because right now, the best time to kick a dog is when it's already down, and Ole Miss is
What's the
down.
score?
I feel like this is going to be a very close game. It's going to be like 32-27.
Okay, Sooners sound okay.
As soon as
Hey, who wins this World Series starts Friday night? Blue Jays and
like
obviously Dodgers.
I can't turn my head away from the fact that all four starters for the Dodgers, Snell, all of them, even Otani, have less than a 2 ERA in all the playoff games.
Dang.
And no matter who starts, so I feel like, unfortunately, the money gets more money, and the Dodgers will win this World Series. I think and I hope that the Blue Jays win at least one game, but
Wow.
this pitching staff for the Dodgers are no joke. I do like the Blue Jays on paper. They got a great team out there. They did very well in the AL East and the AL to represent, but this Dodgers pitching staff, they don't. This is what you have to understand, Rob. They don't have to hit well.
Yeah.
They can just be on the 3-2 game and still win. Like, that's a big positive, where do you turn around and look at the Blue Jays? They got to get 5 home runs to win a game. And that's hard.
Yeah,
That's
that
not
ain't
easy.
good. This reminds me of another. I just looking up while you was talking, and I was thinking about it while I was preparing. I got a little bit behind. The last time a team has won back-to-back World Series, and I thought it's got to be the Yankees.
That was Toronto.
And it was the Yankees won 3 straight 98 to 2000. They almost won 4 straight, but look how strong that pitching staff was. Stanton, Mariano Rivera, not just the starters that we knew, Clemens and everybody.
They had Messina, Clemens.
Messina, that was the other one. Yes,
They had a lot of guys, man. They had a lot of.
They had a lot of depth.
Yeah.
Aduke on their pitching staff. That's what you're seeing out of this Dodger team. So, yeah, it's probably Dodgers in 6. I'd like to see the Blue Jays beat them. I like Serger. He brings some energy to that team, man, from the pitching staff. But he's only one guy, and he's older.
I want to see a good World Series. I'm not sure if we're going to get one. Those guys, those 4 pitchers, man, they top money pitchers, man. And then, they'll go deep. They'll go 5-6 innings deep. So
yeah. Anything else you need to plug? We're way over, but it's okay.
Nah, man, you guys, thank you for having me. We're gonna keep doing this, keep watching sports, and you guys, if you get too tipsy, call your boy Rob in the Uber. He'll take you where you need to go in Nashville. All right.
Don't throw up in his car. Mad New Yorker with some great takes, especially on that basketball take there in the gambling issues. Good stuff. Any birthdays or anything to plug? You good?
It's October, baby. Halloween
and World Series. It's probably the greatest. We're still in the greatest sports month here. NBA starting, although we got a black cloud over with this gambling scandal, but it ain't going to stop the great game. Bad New York. All right, buddy. Appreciate you. Appreciate you, folks. I'll be back here probably Tuesday, possibly Wednesday live. We'll see. Maybe I've got a few guests I'm possibly going to book. But either way, if you like the show, share the show. If I'm not live, I'll show you a replay of some of my great shows we've had this particular week. I want to thank Mad New Yorker. I want to thank Rich Ferris for coming in, talking about the Titans, and to Brian Callahan. We didn't grill and everything about Amy Adams Strunk, but he was great. And, of course, Keith Engel was a home run as well last night. It's a great week here. So have a good night, everybody. I'll see you next week, same time, same place here on The Real Sports.